And all beings on the path of enlightenment. So today I have Alena Rudkouskaya, and I just butchered that. I have been practicing it all day too. Rudkouskaya. She is a BioField tuning practitioner, and I have to tell you, this is one of the most delightful experiences to have your BioField tuned. You can feel it, and even though she does it from a distance, I can feel it in my whole body. And I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you all about BioField tuning and why she and how she got into BioField tuning. Alena is an amazing, delightful, gentle person, and so much a part of my life now that I thought you needed to meet her. Alena, welcome.
Thank you so much for this kind introduction, Lorrayne. I really enjoy your company always. And I really hope someday we will meet physically, but by now it's just all we have, Zoom meetings. Well, anyway, BioField tuning. It was almost an accident. It all started, I don't know how many years ago. My background is actually really unorthodox for the healer that I'd like to see myself, because I was trained as a scientist, and I had a very successful career in biomedical research for more than 20 years, about 25 years. And funny enough, all this time I was also having secret life of seeking for natural, holistic ways to upgrade our health, to live healthy. To live our best lives, basically, from the point of view of biology. So I was seeking for all kinds of information, this and that, like what's the best diet, what's the best supplements, vitamins, herbs to enhance our performance, to improve our well-being. So, what you got what you're looking for, and I was bombarded by all kinds of offers to participate in the webinars and docu-series related to this natural health and health sovereignty. And obviously, the time came when I was sitting learning all kinds of things related to the sound healing. It was the event dedicated to the sound healing and frequency healing in general. And one of the speakers happened to be Alena Rudkouskaya, who invented, she didn't invent obviously tuning forks, but she invented the new method how to use them to tune people up, just like musical instruments, by using sound of tuning forks. And so she defined this method by using her very sharp, research-oriented mind, very analytical, but at the same time, she's incredibly intuitive person. So she was able to map BioField, human BioField, based on the sound of forks inserted in a certain area of BioField. And here, I suppose I have to make a definition of what BioField is for the viewers who are not aware of this. So what we call BioField is the electromagnetic energy field surrounding and permeating every single living being, not only humans, but also animals, plants, everything on our planet, basically. So BioField has a form of torus, which means it's a super high donut-like shape with the hole in the center. Actually, I have a visual aid here. Aha. This is a BioField tuning map. I hope it's well. Okay.
That's
So,
great.
so by using all this method and extensive research, Alena Rudkouskaya first, and then the whole community of BioField tuning practitioners were able to tune in certain what's the word? There's certain sequence how to do tuning. First, we have to clear and define, amplify the energy flow from the Earth chakra, which is a special chakra below our feet that's responsible to conduct the electromagnetic current, negatively charged ascending current from the Earth. And then there is a sun star chakra over here, that through which we receive a descending current from the sun, from the cosmos in general. So by amplifying the energy flow from these terminals, because the BioField is pretty much a capacitor, that's how we store our life energy, right? So by amplifying these terminals below the feet and above the head, we can enhance this energy that circulates in the central channel and intertwines between this ascending and the descending currents. They intertwine in the central channel, and basically they define the level of our vitality, the level of our strength, like in terms of immunity, in terms of life force fulfillment and everything. So in general, on average, BioField extends from the midline of our body about 5 to 6 feet at each from each side. When people are in poor health or under huge stress and everything, this BioField can shrink a little bit, and on the opposite scale, when people enjoy extremely high level of energy, BioField can expand far beyond this 6 feet, really. So when I heard about this method, it made so much sense to me as a scientist, because it's so elegant, it's so simple and so powerful at the same time. And we don't need to have a really deep esoteric knowledge or very special superpower to use this method on ourselves, on our families, friends, and clients. And we don't have to even have a perfect pitch whatsoever, because the sound of the tuning forks is really kinesthetic. You can, by the subtle vibrations, we can determine where the energy disturbance locates. And this is the, so whatever I was talking about, it was just the premise that we all have BioField that serves as a capacitor of our energy. But at the same time, the BioField is also a personal record of all our lifetime experiences, all the traumas, physical, emotional, all the stress, all the negative programming that we inherit from our ancestral lineage, or acquired during these conditions as we grow up and learning to live in a society, right? So all these kind of influences, not always necessary for life in these 3D settings, in our world, in our matrix, but at the same time they create disturbances in our BioField. And these disturbances, these pockets of frozen static energies, can be detected through the sound of tuning forks. Because these energy disturbances create, interrupt this flow of energy that's supposed to be, in a best case scenario, uninterrupted and very coherent and harmonious. So the sound of tuning forks in these particular pockets of this energy disturbances become out of tune, become dissonant. And it's clearly can be detected either by practitioner or by the person itself. What's most important and almost miraculous that our body's organizing intelligence also hears all this dissonant sound in a biofield. And it has the capacity, it has the special software to auto-tune, to self-adjust to the more harmonious state of being. With, practically back to the original blueprint, factory settings,
And we entrain to the sound of the tuning forks. It is quite fascinating when Alena is doing a session. You can hear the tuning forks go out of frequency range where they get very dissonant or very screechy and high pitched. It's fascinating. Yes. Sorry to interrupt.
But... No. That's fine. It's part of the conversation, right? Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how sensitive the tuning fork sound is to all kind of, because by the way of the dissonance in a tuning fork sound, we can detect if this particular energy pocket is related to the depression, because the sound becomes really muffled, really low, really closed, or on a other spectrum, it could be really sharp, really alarming sound, which might be related to the either very acute pain or panic, or something really like life-threatening, almost either emotionally or physically, right? And anything in between. I have to say that from my own experience, all these extreme sounds are not that much of, it's not necessarily common, but most biofields of people that I work with, well, it's mostly noise, static, something. It's even hard to define what is it all about. But the important thing is when I finish the calming, eventually the sound becomes so bright, so beautiful, so coherent and harmonious, and this is our basically true nature. Incredibly powerful light being, like an angelic nature, really. So when we remove all this noise, all this, mark that we accumulate through our lifetime, because BioField is really shows all our songs of our lives from the beginning of our life, when we are born, even at the time of gestation, which reflects all this information is stored at the edge of the biofield. And then as we move toward the body, here is our current time. So basically we can read the whole story of our life by coming through the biofield, and then we calming, focusing the energy to the point that the goal is to make the tuning fork sound as bright, as beautiful, as fully sounded as possible, because this is our true nature, and it's incredibly empowering, really. Yeah. Honestly, in my view, these biofield tune-ups should be, if not mandatory, like highly recommended as a preventive measure, just like brushing teeth, right? The minute you stop brushing teeth, we start accumulating all these, plaques and stuff, just by being living our lives, right? The same thing with the biofield. it keeps accumulating all kind of disturbances, just by being who we are, by interacting with other people, with society, with all this bad news that we are subjected on every day, on a daily life. Yes, we need to clear ourselves up. We need to tune up.
It's like, people go to chiropractors for maintenance. They should be
Absolutely.
biofield tuned.
Yes, I agree.
We are energy beings. We exist in an energy field, a greater energy field that is music, that is sound. This is so logical that this type of healing practice, like you said, should be mandatory, if not highly recommended, as a maintenance process through our lives. I have been receiving treatments from Alena, and I have to say that just from an energy standpoint, I have noticed my energies go up and down as I, when she first started, and each week that we've done it, and I highly recommend doing several treatments in a row, because she clears through your field, and and because she's working from the time of your conception forward into your present day, she's clearing out all this debris that you've accumulated. And there are times, I think, that sometimes the body goes, okay, I've cleared as much as I can clear, and I know this from an energetic standpoint. In this area, I'm going to let it sort of come back to equilibrium, its new state of being, and move on. So then you come the next week or the next session, and your body field is now ready to release more of that, and more gets released. So
yes, thank you
it is
so
a brilliant.
much.
You're welcome. So do you think that your background in science has helped you to really understand the science behind this? Because science is an art. It is a beautiful state of music when applied correctly. It is an art. Do you think it has helped you in doing the work you're doing now?
I think, well, it helped me a lot in terms of leading me to this particular point in my life. And it also helps to understand the mechanism behind the healing power of sound on a cellular level. And the mechanism itself is beautiful, because every time we are subjected to the harmonious musical so exposure, our body perceives these harmonious frequencies and trigger very tangible, very well documented response. For example, production of nitric oxide in the epithelial cells in a nasal cavity, in sinuses, in the lungs, depending on the level of frequency we are listening to. Like, it could be listening through the headphones, like high quality headphones, to the point that the ears are kind of compressed. Or it could be like whole body experience with the sound bath. The effect is the same: stimulation of production of nitric oxide. And why it's important? Because nitric oxide was found like a long time ago, like it's very well documented research, that nitric oxide stimulates vagus nerve. And why it's important? Because vagus nerve is the major nerves in our bodies that are responsible for function of parasympathetic autonomous nervous system, which is provides the necessary, it's the only means to become in a state of rest and digest. Therefore, in these chaotic, stressful times that we are all living right now, it's super important to find the balance. And to me, the best way to find the balance is through the sounds, through the harmonious, beautiful frequencies, because it's so easy, it's so accessible. I mean, who doesn't love music, really? And it, most importantly, these frequencies they give us so much power to activate our parasympathetic system, and eventually to find this beautiful state of homeostasis, of a higher functioning, right? Who doesn't want this? I think we all require at this moment. This is mine.
So tell us about the tuning forks that you use. I know that you use different forks at different frequencies. Can you tell us about the frequencies and what those mean or what their purpose is?
Sure. I have to say first that the BioField tuning practitioners a special tribe in the healing community because of probably personality of its founder, Alena Rudkouskaya, who's extremely practical, not to say pragmatic, like businesswoman, inventor. All she cares about is the efficiency, whether or not this particular frequency does its job. So it doesn't matter what kind, what. So, okay, go back to history. Initially, the way this method was born is that Alena Rudkouskaya, like 20 years ago or so, ordered a kit of solfeggio tones, nine tuning forks. And she started experimenting with them on her clients, whereas she was running massage therapy at the time. And amazingly, she found out that her clients, when she activated and held their certain tuning forks around the body, over the body and around the body, like away from the body, the clients reported that the pain would dissipate like tremendously. And next time they came to the session, they demanded to using these tuning forks again. So she got extremely curious and started researching this phenomenon. And she found that the pain actually lives not in the body, not next to the body. It could be located all around the body, like in the body. This is how BioField research started, really.
Wow.
And when this, yes, so the tuning forks that she used initially was all kind of tones, solfeggio tones, like. But what she found out eventually, she was going through all these tuning forks, breaking them because the intensity of work was such that they didn't last long. So, as resourceful as she is, Alena Rudkouskaya went into collaboration with the small business. I think it's called now Biosona or something like that. And she developed together with these guys special alloy, aluminum plus steel, right? Stainless steel. And so these particular forks, they look like ordinary forks. However, they're much more durable. They produce sound. They produce much brighter, much warmer, and more informative, so to say. They're more sensitive to pick up all these little nuances in terms of energy disturbances. Most importantly, Alena Rudkouskaya determined that there is no need to use all scale of solfeggio tuning forks whatsoever. So she ended up using 174 hertz as a workhorse, because this is one that I just activated. This is the most efficient tuning fork to come through the beginning to the end. In the special cases when the energy in some particular spots is not moving whatsoever, like really heavy stuff going on, it's very useful to use special forks that are weighted forks. They have, these little things on the tines, whatever. So weighted forks do not produce any sounds. However, the vibrations they produce, this one is particularly powerful, 144 hertz. So these vibrations are so, it's like meat grinder. They grind, they dissipate all this heavy stuff so efficiently that nothing can compare whatsoever with their powerful action. Unfortunately, again, because it doesn't produce any sound. Not only it's not as interesting because the people don't hear anything, although these vibrations can be felt, especially with people who are really sensitive, like you, Lorrayne. But most of us not.
I can feel that. I can feel it.
So the feedback is not as good, but it works regardless. So 174 is the most popular. 144 hertz or some others. There's quite a few weighted forks in the BioField tuning repertoire as well. And also there's a 417 and 528 forks. These are absolutely beautiful. Sound is just angelic, just angelic. They also used very often, especially for calming, or sometimes even in the process of calming, going through the edge, starting the edge to the body. But especially 417 hertz tuning fork is considered like most balancing, most grounding frequency. But the problem is that sometimes when everything is good and fine, the sound is absolutely divine, but it can produce very screeching, very so dissonant, so unpleasant when something really heavy encountered. So it's not really practical to use it on every, like, by default. So yeah, 174 is the best way to do it, and then occasionally we use something else, either to enhance or to make it more efficient. So this is the.
So can you explain, because I know you talk about using a hologram, can you explain how a process goes, because you're doing this over a Zoom meeting or over the internet? So how can you explain that? Because it fascinated me, because watching you work, you even just flip the people over. It's fun to watch, but it's very fascinating. So can you just explain that?
Yeah. Thank you for this question. It's not, I mean, some people, it's really hard to wrap the mind around this idea, this concept of doing this healing work, like very practical, like sound healing via internet remotely. And it started long before the COVID restrictions and everything, because at some point, Alena couldn't, I mean, she became so popular, she couldn't fulfill all the requests. So to help people as much as possible, she started doing not only remotely tuning sessions, but also group sessions. And for this, it was even more advanced and hard to understand. So if people, I mean, everything is energy, right? We're all connected through the quantum field or through the ether field, which is one and the same, but ether is kind of suppressed as non-existent, although quantum physics already came to the conclusion, it's just the same, that electromagnetic field, electromagnetic waves need a medium to work, right? So there must be something. So either we call it ether or quantum field. This is what we're working through. And also, so first of all, we're connected through the ether or quantum field. Second of all, we use our powerful mind to command this ether to create a hologram, which is a plasma of the person that we are connected energetically. And by using this hologram, we can manipulate it any way we need, any way we want, like flipping around, you know, either work on from the head or flip around and work at the feet, at the bottom of the feet, or just you know, flip from back to belly and back again. And by doing so, we actually exert very tangible result, because hologram perceives everything that we're trying to achieve. All this energy that is you know, out of balance, out of tune in the biofield of the hologram, which represent the real person, is getting cleared by the sound of tuning fork, and the person on the other side of the globe, perhaps, right, halfway, like in Australia, for example, also perceives and all this attunement, and gets absolutely real, tangible result, like depression dissipates, pain dissipates, people report to feel whole again. Honestly, biofield tuning is very similar to soul retrieval process. We are, first of all, we clear everything that doesn't serve us, and we collect all the energy that was stuck and out of circulation back to the center. And by doing so, we release, we're freeing so much energy that we can use in our everyday life. And that's the most beautiful and amazing part of this healing modality to me. Not only to fix, fix whatever was bothering people, but also empower them to get more energy, to get more power to live their life to their best ability. This is how I see
it. It's a wonderful process, and being on the receiving end of it, that I can attest to the fact that your energy does rise. You feel brighter, more bubbly. You can actually, if you focus your attention, you can feel the waves of sound. It's like effervescent bubbles. Particularly the 528. At the end of the process, Alena does what she is referred to as columning, and she's with the hologram in front of her. She's using from the heart chakra area up above the body. She runs the tuning forks up, and as she's doing that, because you're on the other line with your headphones, you can hear, feel, sense, and know this sound throughout your whole body. And as I'm talking about it, I can feel it. I can recall that sensation. So it is truly a delightful process. And I've worked with tuning forks and sound in healing sessions, and sound is such a, well, we are all music. We are all frequency. And I believe that this process, this modality that you have been trained in, and that you work within, is so, it really is the cutting edge. It's ancient and modern at the same time. It is what we are naturally attuned to the frequencies and energies and sounds.
Yes,
And the
beautifully
purity,
said.
the purity of the tuning forks is, they truly are, it truly is angelic. I have to say. So now you not only do this wonderful biofield tuning, and I encourage anybody to contact Alena, and her contact information will be down below the video. But she also has a YouTube channel that she shares wonderful uh, tidbits. They're not long, they're short little videos that teach you ways to care for your beautiful body and interface with the world more efficiently and more effectively so that you can live a truly better life. So I encourage you to check out Alena's links because she's a wealth of knowledge. And if you gift yourself a session with Alena, you will not be disappointed, I assure you. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the viewers about you, your videos, biofield tuning?
Sure. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for this appeal to the viewers. Yes, my YouTube channel was created as a attempt to teach, to give people information that I collected through all my life, basically, by seeking this information actively because of my personal interest in this holistic natural healing. Most of these videos are really practical, not to say pragmatic, ways to use simple things like optimal breathing, this singing, humming to activate the vagus nerve, grounding, sunlight benefits, all kinds of things that are free of charge, basically, right? And it's so accessible, at least for the most people. I mean, to go barefoot on the ground, on the grass or the sand doesn't cost anything. To get outside and to soak in the sunlight in a safe manner, obviously, doesn't cost anything. And it presents so many benefits, not only like beyond, because this is information that we receive either from the earth or from the sun, information that we don't even have slightest idea how profound it is. So, and also I teach, well, not teach, I'm promoting the benefits of frequency healings, of sound healings, of music healing. Because as Lorraine just put it very beautifully, we are frequency, we are made of sound, we are made of music. And it only makes sense to use the same like resonance method to improve, to balance whatever needs to be balanced in our bodies, in our energetic bodies, and everything in between. I just want to make a comment. You mentioned that after biofield tuning, you feel really energized and full of, bubbly energy. This is true. However, most people feel very relaxed, again, because of stimulation of nitric oxide production, which is, increases parasympathetic system power and leads to deep relaxation. So for people who are struggling with the insomnia, biofield tuning can really help. I didn't see any person so far who was complaining that I couldn't sleep after your session. Instead, everyone was mentioning, I had the best sleep in my life today, or yesterday after the session. So sleep is another extremely important aspect of our well-being, something that so many people are struggling with nowadays. Either insomnia like period or like poor quality of sleep. And the sound therapy and biofield tuning in particular could be really, really helpful in this regard.
Wonderful. Well, my sensation is I am extremely relaxed. So I should define it as a person who is used to dealing with energetics. I can feel the sound of the music within my body, and I feel the sound as bubbly. So
Okay.
I may be misinterpreting or mislabeling it as energetic in the sense of stimulated. I'm meaning energetic more in the sense of not what most people perceive. It's a challenging thing when we're limited with words, because energetic would mean running around the house. I mean energetically activated within my biofield, where I am feeling a sense of joy and effervescence, not stimulated as in I'm over energized, more in I'm feeling the sense of myself as a being of energy. Is that clarified?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lorrayne. You're just very gifted in terms of energy perception, and the sound bubbles, that's a really like naturally bubbles. Because despite the scientific presentation as a sound, as a wave, like sine, what we really experience is the spheres of sounds, spheres, not it's just bubbles, right? So your perception is very accurate, Lorrayne. Good, well done.
It's just years of tuning myself to it. I mean, everybody has access to the energetic world. It's just most people, and I think biofield tuning would help this. Most people have too much noise. And
Yes.
I've trained myself to remove the noise, to tune into the subtleness of the music that I am. And it's my hope that introducing you, other people can begin to, because I believe that I've become even more sensitive after we've been working together than I was before, partly because um, in a session, you are clearing your mind and you're giving yourself permission to be present with the energy, with the sound, with the frequency for 20 to 40 minutes, however long it is. We don't give ourselves permission to stop and be present. Most people don't. And so by giving yourself a session, you're sort of there with, and you're wearing headphones, so you're enveloped in the sound bubble of the song. So I love it. I love that you're doing this. I had, like I said, I had worked with tuning forks before. I had not heard of Alena Rudkouskaya, and I, like she and you, like things to be efficient. I believe healing doesn't have to be hard, and there's so many options for healing out there in the world, and everyone has its place. What's wonderful about healing in an energy standpoint is that we allow the healing or not. As the client, we're the one allowing the process to happen. And a practitioner can gift their services in the sense that they're providing their energy and time. We have to give ourselves permission to receive it and to be in the presence of it. I know the other thing that you recommend after a session is that people either take an Epsom salt bath or put their feet in an Epsom salt bath. Can you explain what that does for the process?
Yes. So when we do this kind of therapy, sound therapy, actually any kind of energy treatment, it's very important to stay hydrated. So drink water before, during, if needed, after session is a must. Because we're moving energy and water is the medium for energy. But when it comes to biofield tuning, when we move so much heavy energies, so much of heavy stuff being cleared, it's very important to, in order to get, allow all this energy perturbations to integrate fully in our biofield, in our body. It's very important to have either full body bath, salt bath, either with Epsom salt or like regular salt, Himalayan, whatever you have, like electrolytes, to discharge all these low heavy frequencies into the salt water. If full body bath is not available or too much of the kerfuffle, at least food bath. It's like dish pain, right? It's much easier. 15-20 minutes, it's all that takes for the process. Why it's important? Because after this integration, a powerful healing crisis may be initiated. Detoxification, basically. Could be uncomfortable. It could be either emotional, as we know, or physical detoxification. So this salt bath could either prevent this uncomfortable effects or at least alleviate. So this is highly recommended for anyone experiencing biofield tuning. I mean, not everyone that I, for example, rarely experience such a side effects. Well, not side effects, like detox effects, but many people do. So that's why it's recommended.
Wonderful. And I do highly recommend you do that. I do it after my sessions, and sometimes I do a full body, sometimes it's just the foot bath, but it just, if you think of the electromagnetic field, the torus field that Alena showed the diagram of, we're moving a lot of energy, and having the electrolytes within this field of water really does help balance and neutralize and all that. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Discharge, that's the word. That's the word. Well, Alena, again, Alena's information is down below. I highly recommend you check out her YouTube channel. She does have a free PDF download underneath her videos if you sign up for her newsletter, which is not spamming. It's just every once in a while you get really wonderful little tidbits. The information that she sends out this free PDF is recommendations of how you can live a healthier, better life. And I highly recommend you do that. So thank you, Alena. If you could stay on after I stop the recording, that would be wonderful. I so am grateful for you being on the channel and sharing with the audience. And biofield tuning is really wonderful. Can you tune us out just before I stop our recording with one of your tuning forks?
Yes, it would be my pleasure. How much time do you have? I mean, I could do tune up.
You have as long as you need.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I will create energetic container right here for you, for me, and for everyone whoever will watch this video. So all holograms of all these people potentially will be in this container. So I connect with these holograms. And I will start using 174 fork at the Earth Star chakra, which is below our feet, about 6 inches. It sound okay? Like, okay. Yeah, so all we have to do is just listen. Activate and listen until the sound is what I deem good, bright, open, and beautiful. Right now it's a little bit fuzzy. Just to save some time, I will use 144 hertz. So right now what we're doing is the grounding, because fully functionable Earth Star chakra is extremely important for grounding. Yeah, we still have a snow outside here in New York State. So BioField tuning is a good way to ground ourselves.
We had snow yesterday morning, and yeah, it was Saturday morning. It snowed, and it finally is gone now. It finally dissipated.
Sure. Yeah, it started melting today as well, but still. Oops. Oh my God. Did you hear it? Yeah, this is not good. Okay, that's better. That sounds good enough. Now what I do after hologram and do the same process at the Sun Star chakra, which is about 1 foot above our head. Beautiful. Very good. And now I'm gonna amplify this current in central channel by using Fibonacci pair. Why Fibonacci? Because one is 144 hertz, which I used before for the earth chakra tuning, and another is 89 hertz. And together, the difference between these frequencies constitutes, this golden ratio is called phi number. That's why it's called Fibonacci. I mean, supposedly, using these forks will greatly amplify, harmonize, and energy flow. So what I'm gonna do, I stick one fork on the Earth Star chakra and another on the Sun Star chakra to increase, balance and increase the current of energy in the central channel. And that should help us to function in a more coherent and powerful way. Just change the polarity of forks. Excellent. And
Thank
also,
you so much.
you're so welcome. Hopefully it will help for the viewers and listeners of the session. Also, I want to mention that Alena Rudkouskaya website called biofieldtuning.com. Not only she sells these very durable, beautiful forks, they're a little bit more expensive than competitors, but as I mentioned before, they're so much worth it in terms of quality of sound and durability, because we use it so intensively. Also, you can buy there's a huge library like of audio recordings of group sessions mostly done by Alena, but also some other practitioners. They're very affordable. They cover lots and lots of topics like physical health, chakra tuning, abundance again, lots and lots of stuff. And also, Alena Rudkouskaya, being extremely generous person, she has a free of charge recording as well. So if you're really interested, you can always, find something suitable for you and use it. That's what I did. I have quite a library of this recording. And I found them really, I can feel the tingling, I can feel the energy moving just by listening to the recordings that were done sometimes many years ago. This is how ether works. This is how our intention works, right? We can listen to the recordings that were and still get effect and benefit from this. So I highly recommend to take it. Absolutely, we're timeless and non-local beings. All right, thank you so much, Lorrayne. It was such fun to interview with you.
It was fun. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording, but please stay on, Alena. And thank you so much, viewers. All of Alena's information is down below the video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new. And as always, remember, I love you. I bless you. Until next time. If I can figure out how to stop